We're in the city of Thanjavur today, also known as Tanjore or Thanjai. It's the 12th biggest city in Tamil Nadu and located in the Kaveri River Delta, known as the Rice Bowl of Tamil Nadu. It's an important center for South Indian religion, art, and architecture. The city rose to prominence during the reign of the Chola kings, from approximately 850 CE to 1250 CE, when it served as the capital of the empire. It's where the famous UNESCO World Heritage Site, Brihadeeswarar Temple, is located. In addition to rice cultivation, it's also an important center for silk weaving and silk saris, metallic artworks, and musical instrument manufacture. We first visit the Brihadeeswarar Temple, a UNESCO World Heritage Site built by King Raja Chola in 6 years starting 1004 CE. This tangible thread of Hindu religion and culture going back over 1,000 years makes the temple as endearing as the magnificent architecture does. You enter the temple through a very robust gate that's extended to a perimeter wall by the Maratha king Saraswathi around 1800 and then subsequently strengthened even further by the French. Coming in through the first entry tower or gopuram, you look up and marvel at the fine sculpture on this structure that has lasted over 1,000 years. You walk through a courtyard that may have been a moat at one time, and you see the inner gopuram, which in Dravidian-style temple architecture tends to be taller than the outer gopuram. As you walk through this inner gopuram, one of the things you cannot miss is the inscriptions that seem to occupy every inch of available granite that's used in the construction. These inscriptions take us back to 1004 CE. They're written in a different Tamil script that was only deciphered in 1887, but now provides fascinating insight into the culture of the local people more than 1,000 years ago. We learned that 1,000 years ago, 1,200 elephants, 5,000 horses, and 50,000 people were needed to move the granite to build this temple. We know that Raja Chola was the king and the driving force behind the building of the temple. The inscriptions go into surprising detail of every item at the temple. Every sculpture, every piece of jewelry, the number of lamps to be lit, and how much oil should be in each lamp. The inner temple is a grand but spiritual complex. You can see a large sculpture of Shiva's sacred bull, Nandi, facing the inner sanctum sanctorum, and a Vimana or temple tower that is one of the tallest in the country at 216 feet. The dome at the top of the temple tower is sculpted out of a single block of granite and weighs more than 80 tons. One of the main attractions of the temple is the huge statue of Lord Shiva's bull, Nandi. This is a beautifully carved statue added to the temple complex by the Nayak kings in the 1600s. It's sculpted out of a single rock, weighs 25 tons, is 13 feet high and 16 feet wide. The frescoes on the ceilings still retain their vibrant colors 500 years later. Turn your head to one side and you'll see a statue of Nandi that's grabbing almost as much attention. This is the original Nandi that was built by the Chola kings more than 1,000 years ago and stood where the current Nandi stands. It's a magnificent carving and lends itself to a very tangible thread of spirituality and Hinduism going back to ancient times. The inner core of the temple is housed in a majestic building with timeless carvings outside and inside. Climb up the steps to get to the main deity of the temple, Lord Shiva, represented by a large Shiva lingam. It is definitely worth coming back to the Brihadeeswarar Temple in the evening. It's a magical experience as the sun sets and the temple lights come on. You'll also get to experience some of the evening pujas and ceremonies that take place as the temple closes. About half a mile from the Thanjavur Brihadeeswarar Temple is the Thanjavur Palace complex. You'll see a tall bell tower as you enter the complex, built by one of the Nayak kings to keep an eye on the land surrounding Thanjavur. The complex was originally built by the Nayak kings in the 15 and 1600s to house their elephants and as an armory. The taller arches to the right would house the more majestic elephants, and the smaller arches straight ahead house the smaller elephants. This is now used to display stone and bronze works from the area from the 8th through the 15th centuries. While the Nayak kings in the 1500s built these large entryways for their elephants, this was subsequently converted by the Maratha kings into a beautiful palace around 1675. Inside this structure now is the Darbar Hall, or a large reception hall with a statue of the Maratha king Saraswati II in the back. Much like the Nayaks, the Marathas encouraged music, dance, and painting, and the reception hall is very colorfully painted, including the ceiling. Adjacent to the Darbar Hall is a royal museum with bronze collections dating back to the Chola period of the 10th century CE. Next door is a museum from when the Maratha kings lived in this building. There's some chains on the crossbar above that were used to control the elephants. These are locks and other gadgets likely used to control the elephants. A gift given to a Maratha king at the time of his wedding, and some weights and measures. Fly whisks used to keep the insects away from the emperors. Hats and footwear worn by the Maratha kings 300 to 500 years ago. Some kitchen implements used in the royal Maratha household kitchen. Some pottery and porcelain figures used by later Maratha kings during British times, and some furniture and Thanjavur paintings of some of the later Maratha kings. Outside, you can see the Maratha Darbar Hall, or where the Maratha kings actually sat on their throne, and again, it's an intricately and colorfully painted room. The culturally rich Saraswathi Mahal Library is within the palace complex. The library was originally started by the Nayak kings in the mid-1500s as a means of intellectual enrichment. The Maratha kings built on this collection, and it is now one of the oldest existing libraries in Asia. The Maratha king Saraswati II was particularly instrumental in the growth of the library. It has a wonderful collection of ancient maps and atlases, old books. I saw a book on human anatomy that predated Gray's Anatomy, and another book on cataract operations for the eye. There are wonderful paintings and Thanjavur paintings that are exquisite within this library. But most importantly, it has over 60,000 rare palm leaf manuscripts going back 2,000 or more years, written primarily in the Sanskrit and Telugu languages, but using a variety of scripts based on where the palm leaf manuscript was created. Moving away from the grand Thanjavur Temple and Palace, Thanjavur is also known for making the Veena, the national musical instrument of India. Dr. Chinnappa's family has been making the Veena in Thanjavur for several generations, and he let us know that Veena making has been going on in Thanjavur for over 1,000 years. This is a beautiful Ekanta Veena.
National award winner.
It's a national award winner. Thanjavur Veena making is a meticulous process that begins with selecting the best aged jackfruit wood first. This is then carved and shaped into an instrument, either from a single block known as an Ekanta Veena or from multiple pieces when it's known as an Ottu Veena. Finely filed down, keeping in mind the tone of the whole instrument, known as the Shruti. And here we see the Veena going through the different phases of production, partially made and more complete, waiting for the frets, the strings, and the final tuning in this room. There was no question, however, that Dr. Chinnappa was more partial to his national award-winning Veena. Another delightful tradition in Thanjavur is the making of the Thanjavur bommai or bobblehead dolls. The dolls are made of paper mache or clay and brightly colored and generally made in pairs. Much like Christmas ornaments in the West, many South Indian women will accumulate these dolls over the years and then joyfully display them in their homes during the Navratri Dasera festivals. While Thanjavur is known for its ancient temples and its rich South Indian heritage, it also has a vibrant local shopping scene. We visited an upscale modern mall here with name brand stores recognizable anywhere in the world. We then went shopping at a well-known local silk shop, where the silk saris are known for their rich texture, their bold color, and their intricate zari work. It was also particularly fun because all of the salesmen had the same pattern shirt as I had on that day. I hope you enjoyed this journey to magnificent Thanjavur, where the history of yesterday creates the culture of today. See you next time.